Have you ever wondered what games you should keep or you should lose? Find out here at Purge Reviews.
15 Minutes to Self Destruct is a real-time cooperative board game. This is a game I got at a yard sale type thing where I was buying a whole bunch of games, and this came in it. Didn't really know what it was or what I was getting into, but it kind of seemed interesting, so it was part of the package deal. And boy, was this a game that I really enjoyed. It literally plays in 15 minutes, so it's not a misnomer like 8-Minute Empire. This is 15 minutes. There's a timer set. You're going to win or you're going to lose that amount of time. The game itself is fairly easy. You're rolling dice. You're moving around. But you don't get locked behind these doors. There's certain paths you go through, and it needs certain dice rolls in order for that to happen. You're just frantically rolling the dice to do that, and you'll be flipping switches as you go through. It reminds me a little bit of the movie The Cube, how you're kind of stuck in these areas, and you're trying to get through, and you're working together. And it's like half the board, these rules work, and half the board, if you're on that side, those rules work, but you're trying to accomplish the same amount of goals of clicking the switches and getting to the point of exit. This is all done in a frantic real-time play. Now, if you hate real-time games, I don't know if this is going to change your mind, I'll be honest with you. If you don't like cooperative games, this may change your mind because there's no alpha player. You are just rolling the dice and everybody's making decisions as quickly as they can and flipping over doors and trying to open them up, and everybody's plans is going awry, and that brings the fun into this game. Frantic, fun, family can be a little game you play while you're waiting for other people to show up. It's always going to induce laughs and that humor and that tension and that apprehension about, am I doing the right thing here? It's all in this game. 15 Minutes of Self Destruct is wonderful little game. Great filler game. What I absolutely adore. Simple. The cosmetics of it look great. A little bit left simple. Nothing gets in your way. I like that quite a bit. Keep it for us. Here's 15 Minutes of Self Destruct. It comes in a pretty nice box here. It does say app required to play, but it really doesn't. You are going to get 4 of these miniatures. These are 5 miniatures. Reminds me of something you would get in a 1980s game. That's not to knock on them or anything, but they're not like a CMON type thing. You're going to get 2 6-sided dice. These are rounded, and they look pretty nice, and they work great. This is really just going to hold your phone. So you're going to put your phone into it, and the timer is going to be going off on it. That's really what that's going to do. You're going to get a rule book, which we'll take a look at in a few minutes. You're going to get a number of these tiles and cards. The cards are fairly nice. They're a little thin, but that's fine. They're just sitting there, and you flip one over, and you might only do 4 or 5 a game, depending on how bad you're rolling. These chits and tiles, they're a little bit generic looking, and they work just fine. And then you're going to get your board, which will be a grid, to be honest, and you'll just be running around this grid almost. So the components are fine. They're not going to be something, this is probably a small company that put this together. That's going to be like, wow, I want to play this. But they do work, and they function pretty well, and you get a lot of cards with it. Here's a rule book for the game. It kind of tells you how, a picture of it. You're going to have the rules over here. This will be set up, etc., with a nice little picture in there. And then this will be how to play. There's really not a whole lot to it. How the switches work on the game. And then the action cards, how those work, fantastic. And end of game. Some advanced play if you want to play with that, which is fine. Really, all you're going to be learning how to play is this little rule right here and through here. You might need 5 minutes to read through it and be up and running. I like the color on this. You got plenty of pictures in the full color. Excellent job. Very good. Okay, to set the game up, you're going to put each miniature on their color on the side. On the back of these, you'll have a letter. You'll match them up with the board, and you want the red showing that shows that all the doors are locked. And then you'll take these and put them on the red side, not the blue side, on their matching number. Then you'll take the app, put it on somebody's phone, and you can start pressing play, and it'll start loading up for you. What you're going to be able to do on a turn is you can move your person as far as you want until it comes to a locked door. If the door's open, you can go through it. If it's locked, you cannot. If you don't want to move because you need to open some doors, you're going to roll the 2 dice. And in this case, it's 6 and 3 is 9. So what I can do is I could take the 9 and simply open. That's one option that I have. Or I could take the 6 and 3 and open that. So that's my choice I have. I can open more doors, or I could do this. Now, let's say I really need to open this 3 for whatever reason. It's open, but then I would have to close the 6. You're going to be opening and closing the doors with the dice. What are we trying to do? We're trying to get all the switches flipped over. If a switch like this one, which has a blue bar on it, I just need to get one person there, and then he can flip it over. If it has a red bar on it, which this one does, then it would require 2 people to be there, in order for me to flip it over. If I flip all of them over and we get back to the pod, then we have won the game. Now the trick to the game is this timer is going to be going off. So you're only going to have 15 minutes to complete your objective. So you're going to be frantically rolling these down. Now, one little trick that can happen, if you got dice and you can't use them at all, then you're going to have to turn over the top card of the deck and you will do what it says. So this one says keep. You always do the blue unless you're in the final 3 minutes, then you're going to do what's on the red. Now some of these might flip over switches that you've already flipped over. Some of these might flip over switches and close doors that you've already opened, or they might do nothing at all. That's the risk that you're going to take if you have dice that you cannot use. This whole game will be played in a legitimate 15 minutes or less. Who should buy this game? This is centered on people who do not mind real-time games. But that makes or breaks this time. You need a timer, and it's going to be implemented. Use an app that comes with it, or you can just use a timer on your phone, which is fine too. The game itself is fun. You're rolling dice, moving around, you're making decisions together. I like that cooperative feel that it has into it. It has that tension of, oh, are we going to get this done in time? And oh my gosh, time is running out. Are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? Are we going to make it? That is fun. I like this game quite a bit. Hidden surprise for us. It's a little bit of a sleeper game. Don't sleep on this one. 15 minutes of Self Destruct. Definite keeper.